We have breaking news from the NHL. We have yet another coaching casualty. The Kraken have fired head coach Dave Hakstol. We'll discuss his record, his time with the team, and what might come next for Seattle coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty significant news here in the NHL. We have another coach out of a job. The Seattle Kraken today have confirmed that General Manager Ron Francis has decided to move on from head coach Dave Hakstol after 3 seasons. Of course, I believe he signed an extension last year as well. He was a finalist for the Jack Adams Award in 2023 as Coach of the Year. For a lot of these coaches, it seems like it's almost a curse more than a blessing to be in that conversation. Over the 3 seasons, Hakstol had a record of 107 wins, 112 losses, and 27 overtime losses. Of course, the first year wasn't great. Being a first-year expansion team, didn't come close to duplicating what the Golden Knights did, but they were also not really, they didn't go about things the same way as Vegas did. They were not as aggressive out of the gate, which is not shocking given how Ron Francis typically likes to do business in hockey. Second year, they were a major surprise. They took a huge step forward, had over 100 points in the regular season, made the playoffs, won a round against the defending champion Avalanche at that. It was shocking to me, like that they actually went that big of a jump in one season. Phenomenal. Into the second round, they went deep into that series too, before they lost out. So at the end of the day, they had a really solid year. Now this year, did they fall really back? They absolutely did. And, you could say there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not completely sure this is all on Hakstol. I know I've never been a huge Hakstol fan about how he likes to coach and go about things. I mean, not saying he's a bad coach. I just, I guess I was surprised given the candidates that they had to pick from and the, interested people that would have been in a brand new team like that. I was a little surprised they went with Hakstol in the beginning. But after last year, I'm not shocked that this is coming out here today and this news is breaking, but I am mildly surprised, just because Ron Francis is typically very calculated, patient general manager. I'm guessing there must be some more pressure from ownership to get back to playoffs and win. Obviously, the fans expect more too. That last year, to me, they just had everything go right, and to me, they were a prime candidate for regression based on how everything looked. I mean, that roster could still use some more work. They could still use some more, game breakers for scoring. The Philip Grubauer contract hasn't worked out. Thankfully, Joey Decord has. He's definitely appears to be set to take the net for the future, but they've got Grubauer under contract for a while, and show us a coach that has great goaltending is probably going to be a coach that's employed, at the end of the day. So, is this all on Hakstol? No, I think it's a variety of things, but at the end of the day, coaches are quite often the scapegoats in many of these cases. So Hakstol is out along with assistant coach Paul McFarland. So what's next for this franchise? I mean, obviously Hakstol will, be able to look for other work, I guess, because, there's, I think, 6 or 7 other teams that are looking for coaches right now. So he could join other lists and other teams to talk to. So we'll see where he lands next, if it's in the NHL this year or not. I do think it's fair to say that Dan Bilesma will be a candidate. Of course, he's worked with the franchise at the Coachella Valley AHL teams, done a phenomenal job down there. So obviously, as this team matures and grows and brings up their prospects, he would be quite familiar with a lot of these young players. So there's that aspect of things. I think Bilesma would be a serious contender. Of course, he's got previous NHL experience as a head coach, including a Stanley Cup to his name with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So obviously, there is that. You have to think that, recently fired Dean Evison out of Minnesota, who's been reportedly been interviewing with other teams too, would become a candidate in Seattle. There's a long history and relationship from Ron Francis and Dean Evison that goes back several decades now. So I have to think he'd be interested. I mean, you look at some of the other serious coaching candidates that are like top-notch guys with lots of experience out there. Your Craig Berubes, if you will, Todd McClellan's, like there's Gerard Gallant. There's lots of guys out there with lots of experience that have won. to some degree at least. So we'll see where Seattle goes. There was reports earlier from Kevin Weeks that we could see a coach that gets hired this offseason exceed the previous record for what a coach is getting paid in a year, which was previously set by that Mike Babcock contract from the Toronto Maple Leafs. So we'll see. I'm not sure who's going to be doling out $7-8 million for one of these coaches, but according to Weeks, it sounds like it's possible to happen. So we'll see. The Kraken obviously want to move forward next year, and they'll have a whole new staff to do it. Let me know who you think is a good replacement and how this team moves forward in the comments, and we'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.